What's up, guys? Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project, and you're listening to the Weekly Pour podcast.
Hola, amigos. This is Billy Sheehan. You're listening to me right here and watching on the Weekly Pour podcast.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher. You're listening to the Weekly Pour podcast with TbT and Ace.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi from, just about every band but ABBA, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour. Turn it up.
I'm Logan, right?
Yes.
That's how all right, I'll go now. What's up, everybody? It's Logan from All the Pretty Things, and you're listening to TBT and Ace on the Weekly Pour podcast.
Hey guys, it's Leva Leone, and you're listening to the Weekly Pour. Great metalheads, crazy music, because we all bleed metal. Ciao.
My name's Reggie, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. Here are your hosts, TBT and Ace.
What's up, everybody? I am TBT. That guy over there is Ace. Welcome to episode LIX, right? LIX, LIX. It's episode LIX. So, that's 59 for those of you that aren't Roman. Everybody else should know. Let's see. Jumping into chat real quick. Looks like Natalie, our moderator, is already in. Wes, welcome. Kathy's in bright and early this evening. You and I were talking right before we went on air, and I don't know about you, but it feels like we've not done this forever, and it's only been a week.
Yeah, I don't understand the flow of time, but it feels like we skipped a week.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, when I was getting ready, and obviously we usually do things on Tuesday, and today's Wednesday, and it looks like the missus is in there, my other half. Good to see her in the chat as well. I think she's in the other room, so it kind of works out good. If I need something, I'll just text her. But anyway, yeah, it's like we've been gone for a month. Yours is what?
Mine is international at the moment.
Yes.
Yes, she is in the
Kentucky.
Great White North, Kentucky.
Yeah. Yeah, feels like it's been forever. It's only been a week, and I don't know. It's this, like you said, it's just some concept with time, and I don't know. It's weird. I don't get it.
Did you ever get your dog diagnosed?
He's dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That takes care of that.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about vet bills now. No, I'm just joking. He's not. Did we mention that? I said he was limping like a few weeks
Correct.
ago. And I think because we had Mark on last week, we didn't talk about it. Sort of, kind of took him to the vet. They said one of two things. He's either got a bad sprain or a small tear in his ACL.
Right.
And I think I got that one. So they gave him some meds. They want to see him in a couple weeks. He finished his meds this morning, and he runs. He's fine. I want to say he's fine now. He's better. But he still occasionally limps. I don't know if that's just because he has gotten a lot of attention, and now it's a sympathy limp. Actually, I think my wife is currently dealing with a sympathy limp as well. All of a sudden, her back hurts, and it was giving this dog all the attention, and now she wants the attention, but now the dog's better, and now she's getting better because she got the attention. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So, yeah, I'm the only one that's not broke.
So far.
Right. I better knock on wood because I just screwed that one up for sure. But yeah.
Would you get any attention?
No.
No.
I would whine like a sick man, though, because that's what we do.
Right.
But
we want to be mothered.
Yeah, exactly. And she just corrected me. It's her hip and not her back. But still, no, it's not. She's not faking. She's had issues before, and they crept up again. And this was probably worse than it has been in a while. But whatever. I mean, what can we do? Again, I've mentioned this previously. I've watched The Walking Dead. I know how to amputate a limb and cauterize it. Don't tempt me.
Right, because there's no boundary to who we'll do this to, whether
No.
it's the dog, the wife, the kids.
Yeah.
There's no boundary.
No, exactly. Did I mention Wes? Yes, Wes is in here.
He is. He was
Wes,
early.
Wes, yeah, he was in before we even went on air. Wes wants to know where your nicknames come from. I guess he's talking to everybody in the chat. I don't think he's talking about us. He's got to be talking about the chat.
Yes. Someone else asked me this just out of the blue.
Really?
Yes. Mutual friend we have.
Okay, well, apparently, according to Wes, everybody's talking about a sympathy limp now. Wes says he's got to try it. And then Natalie, of course, she needs to get a sympathy limp. But Wes has said that you, Mr. Ace, you would call yours a pimp limp. And I just got blamed for breaking the other side. Yeah, I know. I did. I take full credit for the hip issues. Use your imagination. Just use your imagination. We won't go there. We're keeping this sort of PG. We're not going NC-17 yet. And of course, Wes is paying attention because he says, "No, I'm talking to you and I." So anyway,
yours goes way back.
Oh yeah.
Nickname. Well, they both do.
They both do. Yeah, but maybe we'll save that for another episode, just to keep Wes waiting.
TBT does not want to reveal what TBT is.
No, he doesn't.
No, he wants that to be a mystery.
Exactly.
Throwback Tuesday, Throwback Thursday. It's whatever you want it to be.
No, let's not go there. Yeah. Titties before tacos. I mean, I don't know.
I never thought about that.
I just did. I don't know. So I got to tell you, I just thought about this. Number one, this is number 5, whatever. I need to give a quick shout out because that's what the youngins still call it, right? A shout out.
I think.
Okay, to a friend of me and the wife, possibly you two. I don't know. Maybe just a mutual acquaintance, but I want to say happy birthday to Jessica, who had a birthday today and was visited. You and we're changing jobs. Okay. I'm just going to put this out there now. She was visited today by a hairy, pink, Speedo wearing, guitar playing, like birthday thing.
Messenger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. At lunch today.
Where did they find one? What?
On the Book of Face. Apparently this person is well known in our surrounding area ish. They paid for his services. Can I say that? Yeah.
I think I saw a Facebook post a few weeks ago where this person popped up. It's making sense at someone else's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't pay attention to the whole picture because of the Speedo thing.
Right.
But I think that's what this was.
So I'm not talking like, this is like $50. This is a good a money-making machine that he's got going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we're talking anywhere from like let's just I'm ballparking this because I don't know. I've not looked it up. $250 to come in, sing like a song, sing happy birthday. And Natalie, the answer to your question is yes. That is the name.
Oh, of course she would know. They run in the same circles.
Wait a minute. No, Kathy, it wasn't a stripper. And she said her birthday is in September. Just shows up in a Speedo, cowboy hat and an acoustic guitar. Wes, you are nailing it on the head. When you get a chance, you need to go back and I want you to read comments
Yeah.
in the chat because he mentioned somebody's birthday and I'm not repeating the name, but it's pretty daggone funny.
I know I'm familiar with something like this back years and years ago in my younger years. We won't
Yeah. Okay.
get
All right.
too detailed, but
Yeah. So, but this dude's making some money, and I'm thinking if you do this a few times a day, you're good.
well, the shelf life for this though in one area is not very long.
Let's also think about the winter time.
Right.
Shrink.
Right.
I mean, I don't.
So is it just a performance of a half naked male in a guitar with a cowboy hat?
Pretty much.
No gyrations, no lap dancing.
I don't know if he goes that far. He did not go that far today
Well,
because
yeah, he was in the workplace.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know how far. Um, I don't. I don't know what money can buy. Let's just say that did not happen today. Thank goodness. But
What's
it
the
was funny.
levels? You know,
I
how many packages does he have?
Should you say
What's the biggest?
packages?
What's the biggest package?
All right, we're cutting the show off. We're done. I'm sure Natalie will know. So yeah, that was interesting. It surprised the crap out of the recipient. But yeah, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Jessica because I told her that she was going to be mentioned tonight and that she had to watch. So I don't know if she is, but at least happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Friday, last Friday, you
Yes,
went to a concert, didn't you?
I did. I went to the Foreigner concert, the Farewell tour. Farewell.
I was going to ask which farewell is this?
Uh, I, is it the first or second? I don't know.
Okay.
It gets so confusing, but it's the Farewell tour. And I saw them at what I still call Deer Creek.
Yes.
Now Ruoff Amphitheater, whatever, outdoor venue. And, I underestimated the draw of this band still in the Midwest.
Really?
That place was packed. We got there right at the time for Loverboy, who opened
Okay.
to start their set. And you could not find a place on the lawn. Hardly at all. We were forging out little scraps of grass to sit on. It was packed. I couldn't believe it.
So it wasn't a bring your own grass?
No, because I can't afford to.
Gotcha.
So I don't do those.
Right.
But yeah, I took my two daughters and one daughter's boyfriend. The four of us went. My treat. I paid for the tickets. And, the interesting thing, Loverboy was really good. Better than they should be for the age of the band. They are all original, except for one person who passed away in like 2000, the bass player.
Right.
Lost at sea, strangely enough. Look it up.
Do I say sorry?
So they did well, played 8 songs or so, all original except for one. And then Foreigner comes out. And I talked about this before. And nothing against the talent of the people in Foreigner.
Sure.
Kelly Hansen's been in that band for about 20 years.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of Kelly Hansen from his Hurricane days.
Hurricane. Well, I requested Hurricane from the lawn, and I got no Hurricane.
Oh.
But I mean, it's the Farewell tour. Do something different, right?
Yeah.
But no Mick Jones, who is the only original presence.
Right.
Now, people complain about that, but he is like 78 years old, and he's got health issues. I get it if he doesn't want to come out, but still, he wasn't even mentioned.
Huh.
He wasn't even mentioned, and then Lou Gramm wasn't even mentioned. I thought
I would have totally expected them to be there. I would have also expected Ace to not just disappear. But he did. And I can't talk anything about Foreigner because I wasn't there. But he'll be back in a minute. This stupid technical difficulties. But whatever. So I'll go. He's texting me now and he's like, hold on, I'm coming back. So as my stuff goes crazy, and hopefully you guys aren't hearing that. But anyway, Wes says that Ace had an emergency stream dump. Yes, he did. Absolutely. So we were going to talk about this later on between the two of us, but we're actually going to Terre Haute in Indiana this Friday, and we're going to, and
Okay.
he's back.
Did you
So
get my messages?
I got like dumped of like 15 of your messages all at once.
I was explaining the situation.
Yeah. So I started jumping into what we were going to do Friday. But um, now you can do your thing unless you have to take care of that.
In a minute. So, no mention of those two who wrote all the songs, right?
Right.
So that was the peculiar thing to me. And Kelly is giving speeches up on stage about how 43 years ago we started this band, and we played this song, we wrote this song, and I'm thinking, and I know you say it because that's how you say it, but I thought maybe he might just say, I was honored to follow in the footsteps of these two guys
Right.
who started this band and wrote these songs, and I'm honored to carry on that torch for the last 20 years, that kind of thing, right? So none of that,
Wow.
which kind of surprised me a little bit, but maybe that's the way they decided to present it. I don't know.
Sure. I mean, how long's he been with the band now?
I think Kelly has been there about 20 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, he almost has a right now.
Right. And I mean, I guess you could say that. So most of these guys have been in this band a long time. Jeff Pilson, bass player, played in from a chair because he's got a bad back.
Yeah.
But he's out there playing. They had extended stuff in the middle that drew out the set. We got a keyboard, a drum, a guitar instrumental, things like that. And I'm thinking I could add 4 songs, but we're kind of drawing it out to get the runtime up to 11 o'clock, I think.
Sure.
So that felt like filler a bit. And these are all minor complaints, but overall, Foreigner was very good. They're very talented. It all depends on if you want to call them Foreigner or a Foreigner tribute band at this point.
True.
And most of the reviews I'm reading are very similar to what I'm saying. All in the Midwest, they're all packed, and the reviewer is making those observations that I am. That Mick's not there, and it feels like a cover band, kind of, sort of.
But
it has for a while.
You're not sour that you paid for it, that you went.
No, I knew what I was getting. It's the third time I've went, and I didn't do it for any other reason but to just have some fun with the family.
Right.
And everyone there had a blast. You could tell the whole crowd was having a blast. So, I mean, it was worth people going. But if you're honoring the legacy of the band and the farewell of the band, you think you'd mention some people that contributed to, the Songwriters Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Song. That's my only complaint.
Yeah. But
That's
I mean, having a crowd that large too, I would assume it was probably a big age difference all the way around.
Well, you had everyone from people 10 years older than me to people that were in their late teens and early 20s.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you have a diverse group, which I get at every concert now.
Yeah.
Every concert I go to, which is cool.
Yeah. So if you're watching and you kind of see, if you guys look at Ace is kind of talking and at the same time trying to take care of things. One of the issues that we have is, like a lot of people, we have jobs. And one of us, and I'm not going to mention any names, I always do this wrong, but I won't mention any names. But that guy over there gets the joy of being on call. And sometimes when he's on call, he gets those phone calls at the wrong time. And I think that this might be one of those times where he got a call and now he's just going to take care of what he needs to whenever he wants to or needs to or something
I'm
like
trying to send I'm trying to send a text, and I'm sitting here. I texted you. Now it's telling me not delivered.
that. Oh, yeah, I got them. Geez, I got like 18 of them all at once.
Why in the world would it not be delivered?
The fact that when you text me and one of the texts said Judy, that was kind of funny.
That's my mother.
Yeah, I was gonna respond. That's not me. But anyway,
No.
so this Friday, you and I are actually hitting a concert with some friends of ours, and we're going to Terre Haute, like I started to mention when you went away a while ago. And this is we're throwing it back to the days of 80s metal, and we're seeing Firehouse, Jack Russell's Great White,
Right.
and the headliner is Winger, which I'm super stoked about.
That should be fantastic.
I've always talked about how much of a fan of Reb Beach I am, and we were originally supposed to see Steel Heart on this tour. But if you've paid any attention to any of our podcasts, we've talked about how Milienko, the lead singer for Steelheart, ended up with a condition where he had a hole in his heart, similar to the same condition that Bret Michaels had a few years ago. But obviously, he was able to make a full recovery and go back out on tour. Well, the same thing is expected for Milienko. He's supposed to have a full recovery, be able to go on tour. However, right now, he is unfortunately unable to tour and therefore will not be at this show.
Right.
Instead, we get a replacement that I will say it's not the same for me, but I'm still excited to see him, and that's Nelson.
Right. Which is I didn't know if they were still around. I mean, uh, I know they do a lot of interviews. They do some touring, but I didn't know they had toured anytime in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But I guess they have.
Apparently so. I don't think they've got long hair anymore, which, whatever.
Nope.
I'm kind of glad because I don't want to see that. There's enough of that from the 80s.
Yeah. No,
But
no one has long hair like they used to.
yeah, as we both are prime examples of that. But still, seeing Nelson, I think it was unexpected. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like some other Phil, like Trickster or or something. But Nelson, the more I think about it, it should be interesting because I mean they did have some good songs come out. A
Right.
lot.
Well, that first record did really well.
Right.
And we'll know enough of that. It won't be a lengthy set. We'll get enough to get what we need, I guess.
Right, because they're the opener, followed by Jack Russell's Great White, and then Firehouse, and then the headliner Winger. So
Right, and it's disappointing for Milienko. Matter of fact, we were in the process of arranging to actually meet with him.
correct.
That was what we were hoping for. I believe it'll be interesting to see what Jack Russell brings because of his age and his health.
Correct.
We'll see because you saw him and he was on using a cane to get around.
Right.
I've seen some stuff recently where he's in a chair. So we'll see. And I believe Firehouse will be very good. I believe Winger will be excellent.
Yep. And I think with Firehouse, I think everyone is original except for the bass player, Perry Richardson, who was the bass player, is obviously playing with Striper now.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure Wes actually said his name. Bill Leverty from Firehouse, the lead guitarist. I think he's still with them.
CJ Snare, it definitely is.
Yeah, CJ Snare. So it'll be a good show altogether. And Winger is the original lineup. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. So
Yeah, it's going to be good.
that's going to be an interesting, collaboration between all of them. I'd love to see all of them come out at once, but I guess we'll just see.
Wait, all at the same time?
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, didn't the Big Four do that?
Did they?
Yeah, I think we had Slayer, Metallica, Megadeth, and whoever the fourth one was. Oh, Anthrax.
Anthrax.
Yeah, all playing at the same time. Like one big major encore. They could put Jack Russell up on their shoulders, bring him out.
Brett Michaels is doing that with his Party Rita thing, whatever he's doing. Party Gras.
His party girl, yeah.
Party Gras. He's doing that at the end with all his guests that he has on that, where they come out and sing Sweet Home Alabama. Anyone that wants to come out comes out.
Yeah, exactly. Wes says that should be a fantastic show. I haven't heard Kip Winger sing in years, so hopefully he still has the pipes. He does, but just like anybody else, you gotta lower your keys a little bit for them songs. I mean, it's the same thing that Stryper does for Michael Sweet. You're not going to hit you know, those super
Well,
high ones.
right, because in the studio is totally different animal.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
Now, even without the tricks of auto tune or anything like that, they can still do a lot of things. Especially the fact that you can drop in those high notes when you're ready to hit them.
exactly.
It doesn't mean he can't, but he's not going to play an hour and try to hit every high note. It's just not practical.
Yeah.
You got to get through a whole show, right?
Especially with the heat that we've got this week. I'm sure it'll be about 140 in Terre Haute by Friday. So,
Right. I saw a documentary. I posted it on our Facebook page about 80s bands. It was I Want to Rock. They talk a lot about Skid Row in that. And
yes.
they show some rehearsals from that era, from the first record, and Sebastian is just killing it. I mean, he's singing it like the record in rehearsal. And what was he when that came out? 19, 20 years old?
Let's say 22.
Okay, so you're 22 years old and you're singing it like the record every night. Now you're 55 or 52.
Yeah.
You're probably not doing that.
No, exactly. And it's funny you mentioned that. That was one of the things I was going to talk about. If you've got Paramount Plus, you've got to watch the I Wanna Rock 80s Metal Dream, is what it's called, I think. It's a 3-part documentary series that reveals. It's supposed to reveal so much about the days of metal. I think they could have went way further into it, um,
Yes.
but there's it's good. I'm not going to say it's not good.
What I liked was the different people they interviewed, though. It wasn't just the you know. So I like the Janet Gardner being interviewed from Vixen.
Right.
That was really cool. Dave Sabo. I've never heard a Dave Sabo interview.
Oh, really?
You know,
Okay.
so that was kind of cool for me. And then a lot of Kip.
Well, and not to mention, there's a lot of John Corabi.
A lot of John Corabi.
Yeah, and then
And
Guns N' Roses former manager Vicky Hamilton.
right.
She's like in most of the episodes, but I mean, it's good. It was kind of cool seeing some of the old footage. Kip Winger talks about the Metallica incident where they've got his picture up on the
Right.
dartboard. He talks about Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead are also in it, but it's footage from the show when wear the Winger shirt.
Well, Kip, he's said this stuff before in other interviews I've heard, but you've got to appreciate the guy's honesty.
Yeah.
Because they all say, and I'm talking about athletes, movie stars, I don't read the reviews, I don't read the press. Everyone reads the press.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone reads everything. And he talked about how that affected him and put him into almost a state of depression.
Yeah.
Because what did I do? I just put out some music. What did I do?
Yeah.
But I'm the poster child, Kip says, for, terrible music, which is pretty unfair, I think.
It is.
especially as talented as Kip and that whole band is.
Yep. If you
I
look
mean,
at the stuff that Kip has done since, I don't want to say since Winger, since they're still touring, but the solo stuff that he's done. I mean, there's part of this documentary where they talk about um, him composing music that goes, with an orchestra or even with a what was it, a Broadway show or something like that. But
right.
Kip has done some classical music, uh,
He wrote a
solo
ballet.
stuff, yeah, that has been absolutely phenomenal. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he was nominated for a Grammy,
I think he won a Grammy
but it was for a
for the ballet.
ballet classical music something another. So the dude's multi-talented. He just got a bad rap. But I guarantee if somebody's listening to, I don't know, uh, Sirius XM, and they've got it on, the Hair Nation channel, and Winger comes on, I guarantee they're singing along with 17 or Madeline or Hungry.
You could have picked any band to represent what Metallica was trying to say. It just happened to be Winger, but to me, in my opinion, they weren't the clone, copycat, cookie cutter stuff at the end that we were getting.
Right.
And those are the ones you should be really harping on. Of course, everyone's just trying to do something to make music, but there was such a glut of it around 1990, 91, and Kip came along before that. So
I will tell you that whole documentary made me think, because I've been one of those staunch people saying, yeah, screw the Seattle scene because grunge killed metal and blah blah blah. And then watching that documentary, and I don't know who said it, I don't remember, but I was like, damn. I was like, that's kind of true. It
yes,
wasn't Nirvana. It
no,
wasn't Seattle. It
that
was,
that was a piece of the puzzle.
yeah,
But you go ahead
but
and say it.
it was Garth freaking Brooks
Right.
who killed metal.
And when they said that, I thought the same thing. I thought, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's an astute observation
Yeah. But it
because
makes sense.
right, he's putting on a rock concert in the guise of country music and drawing in all the fans that would have come to rock shows just a few years before.
Right.
I mean, how many people do you know in the 90s when all this stuff faded away had switched over to country music? Because I know the wife and I, we didn't know what to listen to, and we gravitated toward it for about 5 years.
Right. I did for about 5 minutes. But it was very astute. Watch the documentary because it's very interesting. Especially when they start talking about the Garth Brooks thing, and it'll make you think, because I kind of was like, oh wow. I was like, that makes sense. So now I hate Garth Brooks.
I never liked him in the first place.
However, I will tell you that I will let Janet Gardner work on my teeth any day.
That is pretty cool that, she went and got a job.
Oh yeah.
I got to do something. And the whole family's full of dentists. So I'll go be a dental hygienist. I
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Or, you go be a vet assistant.
Exactly. We're talking about these bands that are still together doing their thing. This week, we got a band that hasn't been together in 12 years just reunite. Um, and that is Creed.
Right.
Why do people put Creed in the same category as Nickelback?
Why does Nickelback get put in the same category as Creed?
Sure.
Why are these bands that sell millions and millions and millions of records uh, ostracized, suddenly like that? I don't know. That came out of nowhere. What was it? They've got 4 or 5 records,
Yeah.
and boy, at the end, people were done with Creed. They were done.
Yeah. The sophomore album from Creed, Human Clay, sold 11.7 million copies to date.
You
But
should have
yet
lived.
they're but
Yep.
yet they're they're an issue, and it's because of all the stuff that Scott Stapp went through, I'm sure. But what band hasn't had some kind of issues?
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah,
And the rest of Creed was able to pick up and move on and be quite successful in Alter Bridge.
right. Which
But
was the majority of Creed, minus Scott Stapp.
right, and he's the only one that really didn't have anything going on, that struggled. At one point, wasn't he almost homeless or bankrupt or
Something like that. I
something like
want to say he did I want to say he did a solo album, but
that?
I don't
Right,
think it went very far. But
right.
as of
And
right
he
now,
started.
I don't think there's any touring plans for this reunited Creed. I think right now they're doing uh, two shows on the Summer of '99 cruise next April. That's out of Miami and going to the Bahamas from April April 18th of 24. I think is when that cruise happens. But it's all four original members of Scott Stapp, Mark Tremonti, Brian Marshall, and Scott Phillips, and they're playing two shows during that cruise that also features Three Doors Down, Buck Cherry, Tonic, Fuel, Vertical Horizon, The Verve Pipe, Tantric, and 9 Days, and then some more. I'm going to try that again. The Verve Pipe. I couldn't say that.
So, two things. This is probably a sticking your toe in the water to see what the temperature is
Right.
for a tour. Second of all, did you hear what you just said with those bands? What are
Yes.
we seeing a resurgence of all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Now we've got '90s bands coming back.
exactly.
Not I mean, and they've all went away to some degree. Uh, Fuel has been up and down, in and out, all over the place. They've got another singer
Yeah.
that looks like he's 12.
He's
Uh,
14.
And that's another band that had a couple replacements, and I don't think they'll ever be as successful without Brett Scallion. But I
Right.
did like Torn Green, but that didn't do well either.
I'm excited that see you say they're testing the temperature. I don't think I would test it on a cruise ship.
It's an odd spot, isn't it?
It is because you got to think whoever's going on that. I'm telling you right now, at a minimum, $2,500.
Okay.
At a minimum, probably. Um, Three Doors Down, who we've talked about on a previous episode, going on tour. They don't need to put their feet in the water to test it. They've already been doing it. People were excited that Three Doors Down was coming back. Um, this may be just the fact I know Mark Tremonti in some previous interviews has stated that the reason there hasn't been a reunion is because the time just wasn't right for any of them to all get together and do it. Between Alter Bridge and Mark Tremonti doing his who did he do that album? Mark Tremonti's album that he just came out with.
Oh,
Sinatra.
right.
Yeah, the Frank Sinatra thing that he did. Plus, he's doing a Christmas album. So they're staying busy. They've got a lot of stuff going on. So maybe this week long, April 18th through the 22nd, maybe that's just the time that they had, and some promoter was like, hey, well, let's see if we can get Creed, and sure enough, they're getting them.
Right. And it makes you maybe wonder what Miles Kennedy is doing.
Right.
He is going on tour with Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yes.
Right. So, and yeah, he's doing a solo tour with him. Well, with
Which
man.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, he's another one that you could listen to, whether he's doing his stuff with Alter Bridge or with Slash. Yeah.
The grass doesn't grow on these guys like under their feet at all.
No.
And we talked about this before, but remember back in the day, if you even mentioned that you want to do a side project or a solo record, that was the kiss of death for you in that band.
Oh, exactly.
That was the kiss of death.
Yeah. I mean,
And,
look at Jason Newsted with Metallica. That was part of the thing, is he wanted to do one of his own things, and it was like, no.
oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. because he had wrote some different things. I want to say there'd been talk. I heard it somewhere. Maybe it was on that documentary on Paramount, but talking about Motley Crue, and Vince Neil wanted to do his stuff. Well, we've mentioned it before again on a previous episode how Vince Neil did have his solo. Tommy Lee left, did his solo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was absolutely the kiss of death when it came to these bands, wanting to do things. So I think
Well,
it's more open now. They're like, oh hell yeah, go do your
yeah.
thing. I love it when his phone or whatever he's doing just goes away, because then we lose him and he's gone. And when we're trying to make a point, it's no longer there. He's going to start texting in a minute. Let me jump into the chat real quick. Totally off the rock but Sinead O'Connor died today. Yes, Wes, it's Dad got that news from the wife today. She texted in and told me that when I was at work. I have not looked up what the cause was. I mean, if they haven't done an autopsy, then they obviously don't know. But um, I haven't read anything about that. Let me see. As you Let's see. Mammoth Wolf Van Haven's new song "Take a Bow" is freaking phenomenal. Crazy good long solo. Wes, I have not heard that, but I'm looking forward to it. That'll be pretty good. I'll accept Creed with arms with arms wide open because it's my sacrifice. We're not doing that again this week. I think we tried that last week when we had Mark Mackay on, and we were doing that. Okay, so Irish singer Sinead O'Connor
I'm back.
was 50. We've moved on.
Damn it! I wanted to mention Steve Perry and Journey, and
Yep, too late. Too late. Wes done screwed us up by mentioning off topic of rock that we lost Sinead O'Connor today.
yes, I have that pulled up. I have not read what happened or if we know.
Exactly what I was getting into. She was 56. Her family and friends are devastated. The cause of death has not been given. That comes after her 17-year-old son died of an apparent suicide last year. So that's what I'm getting off of one of the major news sites. I'm going to try that. I don't dare call them a trash site, but I'm going to go to one of those that we got here and just see. Now, I figured it would be in a top headline, but there it is. Okay. Great sadness. She's passed. Blah blah blah. Yeah, nothing. No details on why she died. Any circumstances surrounding it. But I mean, even if you didn't listen to Sinead O'Connor, I mean, that's another musician.
Well, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just going to say it's another musician that has passed at an early age. She's only 56. You and I are not far from that.
Well, no, and I feel great.
Yeah.
And
I
begs
hope
the
this
question.
doesn't I hope this doesn't come back to being drug or alcohol related.
Right, or some other thing. So yeah, I hope so.
Right.
And she did have that a couple of really good moments with "Nothing Compared to You" was a big hit.
Yeah.
And then the whole Saturday Night Live controversy I remember watching.
Yeah.
Which was an interesting moment. And she was, of course, famous for having the shaved head, and that
Yeah.
shocked everyone because who the heck is this female with this shaved head? And so we're all aware of who it is and what she was to music at that time, anyway, in '92
Sure.
or so.
All right. So here's a let's say hi to Lou who just stepped into the chat. So here's a trivia question. Nothing compares to you. First person in the chat that can tell us who wrote that.
Oh,
You'll win absolutely nothing.
don't look it up.
Mm-mm. No. Wes said Prince. And I'm also being told that she's fought with depression forever, and hopefully that wasn't the case. Yeah, absolutely. I hope it wasn't either. And and my wife just jumped in and said, Prince, you guys are all good. You guys are good. One of my favorite versions of that song.
Are you going to talk about, is it Chris Cornell that did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, I did get your text, by the way,
Thank you.
and good. That's good to know. Um, so oh yeah, Ron Sexton. Wes put that on there too. Ron Sexton passed away. He is the actual person behind Donnie Baker.
Right. I don't know what happened to that guy, but he wasn't very old either.
No, no, he was not, and I believe he was on tour and had a heart attack.
And I don't know if anyone outside our area knows him very well, but
Oh, they do.
okay, locally he was very popular.
Yeah, that's because he lived around here too, but there's a nationally syndicated radio show that he
Mhm.
was on and did numerous voices for. I'll mention them. I don't care, but it's Bob and Tom. So if you've ever listened to Bob and Tom, he did a lot of the voices along with the whole Donnie Baker thing. He also did other things that for that. You can find some of those videos on YouTube, and I've seen some on TikTok and all that. But yeah,
Pretty funny guy.
yeah, he
Pretty
was
funny guy.
50. Wes said he was 52.
Okay, confession. That's my age. So 52, I can't even fathom not being here at that
No,
age.
exactly. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, I feel like I'm I feel like I'm healthy. I don't know. 52 is just that's way too early. And he had a wonderful family from everything I can see. So, I feel for the family of him. Obviously, his fans, and the same thing with Sinead O'Connor. I mean, she leaves a lot of fans, and I'm sure some family still. But man, it just sucks. I'll tell you one thing that does not suck, and that was our conversation off air with Mark Mackay last week. So
Right.
anyone that hasn't watched that episode or listened to that episode of our conversation with Mark Mackay, do yourself a favor and take an hour or 58 minutes, whatever it was, and listen to it, or go to the YouTube and watch it. Mark Mackay, I will say, with not being I'm trying to say this without sounding like a jerk, but for not being like super super popular yet, um, nothing's went to his head, and he is absolutely down to earth. You can see it, you can hear it in the conversation we had with him. But even off air, we stayed on and probably had another good 5-10 minute conversation with him once the show was over. Um, we've made some plans that are hopefully going to come to fruition in August with him. But man, what a stand up dude! He'd be
Very
one of those,
personable.
yeah, very personable. He'd be one of those guys that if you're having a cookout or whatever, he'd be like, "Hey, Mark, you want to swing by?" One of those guys that just all out cool neighbor. So yeah, do yourselves a favor and definitely check that out because it was good. I'm going to talk about my current battle. I wasn't going to, but I've got to talk about it because it's about to drive me freaking insane.
Are you talking about the Nats?
Yes. It is summertime. I live out in the sticks in the country outside of the city, and my house is clean. Okay? I haven't vacuumed in a few days, but my house is clean.
I promise, he says. I
I
promise it's clean.
promise. But I've got freaking gnats. Like when you buy a carton of peaches or a bag of peaches, whatever, and every once in a while you'll get like gnats in them.
Right.
Okay, hopefully everybody's following me here. I don't have any freaking peaches here, but I've got gnats. I mean, not like thousands of them. I've only had two flying around me since we've been doing this show, and every once in a while I try to catch them. I can't get rid of them. They won't leave. I mean, it's not like I'm opening my door asking them to leave or I'd end up getting more, but they will not leave. And it's bugging me. and I told you before the show I wasn't going to mention it because it makes me feel dirty. but I can't help it, and I'm about to set the place on fire just to get rid of the gnats.
It's like in the summer or in the spring. Is it in the spring? You'll get the invasion of the the fucking little bugs, ladybugs.
Oh, fine. I don't mind
and,
ladybugs.
and then you'll get the gnats around the sink and on the counter and stuff, or the little ants that you don't know why they're there. They just show up.
But you can cover them with chocolate and eat them.
Oh, true. Cover them in bleach.
But I'm about to lose it with these gnats. I can't get rid of it. If anybody has a secret recipe other than fire, I'm pretty sure the wife and the dogs would be pissed. But I don't know what to do. Do I have to buy an iguana? A sloth?
A Venus flytrap. Oh, it almost got you.
No, I almost got it. No, I didn't even. I'm going to sit here. I should have just sat here with chopsticks. Just tried to get them for an hour. I'm going to do that on TikTok. I'm going to go live on TikTok with a pair of chopsticks just to see if I can catch a gnat. And I bet you I'll get 10 views.
You might get more. It's TikTok.
I may get 12.
I mean, TikTok.
Bugging the crap out. They are attracted to alcohol, wine bottles, and beer bottles. Kathy, thank you. However, I don't have anything open.
What's around the corner there?
There's nothing open. I mean, there's nothing open.
Do you know the heightened sense of gnats and that they can smell the alcohol?
They're not over there. They're around me.
Well, then what have you been drinking?
I have showered. I do not use alcohol to bathe in often. I don't know. It's bugging me. So the gnat problem is because of... No, it's not because of me. And the fact that you said can't problem instead of gnat problem is because of me. Ha, that's what you get. Try it with a G. I'm going to be in trouble when they're off the air here. Try it with a G. Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, they're bugging me. I can't get rid of them. I don't know what to do. But whatever. What else were we going to talk about tonight? There was one other thing.
Next week.
Oh, next week. So Ace has been, do I dare, I'm not going to say stalking. I don't think that's fair. But
stalking. I've been working.
Yeah,
working on this.
We're going to call it working. Ace has been working.
Help from a friend of mine who's in the chat.
You did.
And I had some help from her. So thank you, Lydia.
Yes.
But next week, all my work has come to fruition. So it'll be Wednesday, the 2nd.
Correct.
Right? And we are going to have former WWF, WCW wrestler and current motivational speaker, Mark Mackay, on the show.
Yes. Super exciting. Whether you are a wrestling fan or not, Mark does an incredible job with kids, does an awesome thing with his motivational speaking. I would honestly figure that we may talk about wrestling for 10 minutes, maybe. With the rest of it talking about what he's done since then in relation to his motivational speaking. So that's and Wes, the answer is no, because she is now with Brock Lesnar.
Correct.
So yeah. But Mark Mackay, look him up. It's Mero is his last name. Look him up. I think it'll be an impressive show. I can't wait for him. I applaud your work trying to do that, and Lydia's with getting that. So we're really looking forward to it. Mark's going to be a good guest, I'm sure. That's going to be probably another top conversation that we've had with somebody. And that's, kind of from the era of wrestling that you and I followed a lot.
Right.
So it'll be good. It'll be good. So don't freak out just because I got one, by the way. Don't freak out just because it's a wrestler. Don't worry about that because, I know some of you don't like that stuff, but you'll enjoy it. I promise.
I sat and thought about some of the things I might ask that were wrestling relatable,
right?
But none of it would be like some of the guys that get really geeky about it, about the booking. Or, you remember the house show in Madison Square Garden in 1992 where you went over such a, he's not going to remember that.
No.
And so, no, I have a few things that might be interesting, maybe to me, but that's about it. A handful of things.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm
We'll
really looking forward to that. That again, just to throw that out there, we'll get some promo stuff put out on our social media. But remember, that's going to be Wednesday, so it'll be a week from today. We are not going to be going live on Tuesday. There's some other stuff going on where we can't, just like this week. So that'll be on Wednesday next week. Mark Marrow joining the Weekly Poor podcast. So that'll be kick ass. I'm looking forward to that big time.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining the chat. Everybody who's listening live, watching live, either here on Facebook or through the Twitters. Be sure, we've told you this before, it's been a while since we've mentioned it, but if you guys have any requests or you have any questions for Ace and I, except for Wes, you are not allowed to email us and ask us about our nicknames. Just drop us an email at theweeklypoorpodcast@gmail.com. Hopefully with Mark coming in next week, the week after, we'll see if we can't get Natalie back with another poor bastard. It's been a while since we've had one. We'll get that. Thanks everyone for joining the chat. Kathy, thank you, of course. Kathy with Music and More Records, one of our fine unsponsored sponsors. Same with Bad Company Barbecue and Jason, who I need to reach out to because I haven't talked to him in a little while. So we'll see you guys on Wednesday next week. TbT and Ace, the Weekly Poor podcast. I'm going to change it just to Prodcast.
The Prodcast.
Yeah, the Prodcast. And you can just think of it your own way, whatever. Anyway, we'll be back next week and have a conversation with Mark Marrow. But until then, see ya.